Hello and welcome to the Every Other Saturday podcast for a brand new episode this week. We'll be talking about the Aberdeen game that's came and went last week. Poor result, we'll touch on it because we never got to give our thoughts on it. We'll talk about the Motherwell game yesterday, which was unbelievable in terms of this season. And then we'll look at the next two games, Brøndby and Ross County on Sunday. Two, again, important games for us this week before the international break. And if you do enjoy the podcast, as always, if you'd like, subscribe to the channel and share about. But firstly, the most important news we have to talk about is Walter Smith, obviously passing last week. A dark day for everybody involved with the club. I couldn't bring myself to really come out and do a podcast or that. I don't know. I didn't feel it was right at the time. So I thought the day will sum up our thoughts about Walter Smith, memories we've had of Walter Smith, and it was nice to see, obviously, at the Aberdeen game, the minute silence held, all the stuff outside the stadium and all that. I thought it was top class for everybody involved. So, shocking news. And just for me, Mr. Rangers, no longer with us.
Nah, no longer with us, mate. But listen, as you said, Mr. Rangers, all the memories that I've given, our dads and given us, getting to witness some fantastic players. But what a guy, man. Top draw. Top draw.
Like, that's what you expect MD involved with the club, but that's actually be is like Walter Smith. If they should model themselves off of him, there'll never be MD like him ever again, right enough. But it's a good person to aspire to be, because he just embodies everything that Rangers is about. And it was really, really sad news over the week there. Still can't really get to grips with it. But memories of Walter Smith are probably my childhood, to be honest with you. Like, growing up watching Rangers, I'm only 20, turning 21 next week, by the way. Just the memories of the teams in Europe going to the final. Probably my earliest memories of Rangers are Walter Smith teams, to be honest with you. Paul Le Guen, I can't really remember. I was about 5-year-old. But 2007 onwards, Walter Smith has teams in Europe. That's what I'll always look at now, comparison to Steven Gerrard's teams in Europe. We go after teams and we go and try and win the game, whereas he would put everybody behind the ball and play defensive and try and get a 1-0 or a draw or something. So that's just the comparison in managers. And he got us to a final with doing that as well. So, one of the most decorated managers in our history and the most successful in our modern history as well. So, it's time for the statue in the stand to be named after him.
I was about to say, absolutely. But some of the most funniest interviews as well is everyone was going on about. I was watching a couple of them. It's always great watching when he's trying to welcome everybody to the Rangers TV, sees lineup. I love that one. I just love that one. That one brought a tear at my eye. And watching that the other day, and then obviously you've got the obvious one. Are you saying Loudrup and that kind of thing?
I've watched that about 5 times since last week. That interview's quality, man. And apart from that,
the Brazil one and all.
The
Brazil one and all, where they were on about for the World Cup for Scotland, him and McCoisty.
Mm-hmm.
He's on about, you like Brazilians? I just love that, man.
He's just classy manager, just a pure good, down to earth, genuine guy. Everybody that I've seen put up posts about him and talk about their experiences, either meeting him or being around him, all say has the time of the day for everybody. He would sit and talk to you as if you knew you as your pal, and he just had time for everybody. So that tells me all I need to know about the man. A great man. And his legacy will forever remain at Ibrox. What else can be said apart from he's a legend?
Legend, mate. As you said, get a statue done in the stand name. Let's get it changed up for Walter. So I think we're going to change the subject now, Jack, to obviously what happened after it.
Obviously, we were expecting a result with the news, with the occasion. The game took the back seat for that week there. You get to Ibrox, so and you're expecting the team to come out, deliver on a big occasion for every fan in the stadium and watching at home. We're expecting a victory for Walter and his family. Didn't really go to plan though. We were 2 down in 15 minutes to Aberdeen at home. And this is an Aberdeen side that had only won 1 game since August. And they were somehow 2-0 up, playing Scott Brown and David Bates at centre half. It was one of the most shambolic 20-odd minutes I'd seen at Ibrox.
Nah, it was disgusting, mate, to be honest. But just as you said, you were expecting him to go out there and play, man, and just go for it for Walter and his family. And what happened, I just thought it was disgusting, man. Honestly, Scott Brown getting a goal. Are you serious? Out of all people, man, getting a goal.
And the way he got the goal, Tavernier obviously they let him just run free on it.
It's just shocking, but the thing was, we'll say, obviously, we were lucky to get a draw, do we? Let's be honest. I think getting the goal.
Right, the goals weren't coming, by the way.
No, they weren't coming at all. And it was just, man, it just wasn't good enough. Obviously, getting the draw. I know people are going on about the penalty. It wasn't a penalty. It was, for me, it was, there's some shot pull in there as well. So I'm not saying he just dives to the floor like somebody on the other side when he gets smacked in the head. But for me, it was more of a penalty than that one anyway.
No. And it was obviously good to get back into the game with a goal straight after they'd scored their second. But then I was expecting us to then kick on for there. It never really sort of happened for us at all for the full game. We did try, but we just didn't create anything. No really player on the park had a good game. We ended up lucky coming out with a draw because I think the penalty is up for debate. I thought at the time, he's going to get a penalty. He gave it. I was like, in the stadium, I don't know, but obviously he's pulled his shot. And that was the whole debate. Before obviously that Celtic game, you seen the penalty they get, and that's quickly out the door, and you're thinking, how did they get a penalty for that one? But no, rode our luck, to be honest with you. Aberdeen by far the better team in the first half. Second half we came out, we tried to play, never really worked out. We get a draw, which is obviously better than a defeat. So that's the main thing. A point.
I tell you who I was impressed. Sorry to hang with me, but I was impressed with that. Is that American lad they've got up front? What's his name? Ramsey?
Christian Ramirez, his name is.
He seemed no bad, but defensive mistakes, as we said, of course, is there. But I think we've all put that depression sort of at our heads, Jack. After
I mean, it was there until yesterday. Obviously, that result, you're going away to Motherwell, notoriously quite a hard venue for us to go to. You're thinking, right, surely this is the day that we finally get a performance, a result away from home. We actually look convincing in the victory, not just score 2 goals and win 2-1 or something. It didn't first off go to plan. Motherwell went 1 up. Just to accommodate errors for Golds and Tavernier, both indecisive about who's going to take the ball. They get a corner, first chance, goal. And that sort of summed up at the time everything that was going wrong for us so far this season, just conceding first to just stupid errors. And Motherwell, apart from that, had the one chance with Tony Watt, but apart from that, done absolutely nothing in the game. Looking at the team that was selected as well, we obviously talked about it a bit, but I was quite happy, to be honest, what he'd went me. Sakala, Arfield back in the lineup. A bit more positive. Aribo out on the right. Bit of pace in the attack. I was happy with the lineup.
I was happy with the lineup as well, mate. As I said to you, I think Arfield got a couple of goals last time. We played away at Motherwell. And Fashion coming into the team out on the left, and that's something that I've been calling for, but we've both been calling for really on the podcast. It was happy just to see Fashion get a full start, a full 90 minutes in his game. But I was obviously, we're going on about errors there. Like we're going to praise Tavernier, obviously, but it's the same all the time. It's dumb and dumber, man. I've honestly, I have had enough of it. I don't know what it is with Connor Goldson. It's like a last of concentration or something. Yeah, and maybe with it, I know McGregor saves it as probably as well as he could, but I'm thinking myself, could he maybe have caught it? I'm thinking that to myself, but he's palmed that away. I just think he's Connor Goldson again. It's similar to the Aberdeen game. You can't let your man beat you. Do you know what I mean? You've got to be in there, as I say. But no. Let's just get into the positivity, Jack, I think.
I know, thankfully, that's all the negativity we've got to talk about was that goal. We plodded away for the full game after that. 40 minutes strikes, and you're like, right, we done it against St Mirren, can we do it again? Calvin Bassey whips out a cross, and I don't know if you've watched the highlights back a few times, but when he whips that cross in, you can hear the Motherwell fans shouting, no way, like as if it's going away, it's going to nobody, and then Tavernier just comes running in, and probably maybe the goal of the season, by the way, so far for us. I think that's such a hard technique to take in. The fact that he gets that much power on it, keeps it down on the volley. I think it's just a tremendous goal. And he repaid for what he actually gave away the goal or the corner for the first one for Motherwell. So I was happy with that. And then for then on, you're like, can we do it again? St Mirren carbon copy. We did. For then the goal sort of kicked us on. I didn't think we weren't necessarily playing too bad up until then. We didn't have really any chances in front of goal. Tavernier whips the ball in, great bit of quality, and then Fashion Sakala's there. He put in the header, 2-1, absolute carbon copy of the St Mirren game.
No, it was, mate. Listen, I'm the same. I didn't think we were playing that bad, to be honest with you, before Motherwell scored. But honestly, I think you could be up there. Tavernier's up there probably for goal of the season. Obviously, this is Johnston win on this one. But no, what a beautiful ball for Calvin. But it's the same, what a technique. Everyone's going on about the Ronaldo goal against Spurs. I think you need to be watching Tavernier, son. You're watching what my man's doing up here, I tell you. But no, listen, similar to the Aberdeen game, like, as you said, gets himself a goal and an assist and makes up for his errors there. Similar to this game. I'd said to you, we're whipping the ball in and the big man's away in Germany, but Fashion does it, man. It's a lovely header, really nice header, thrown through the air.
Aye, and that gets him off the mark. He was start, obviously scored against Motherwell last time. Comes into the team, makes his mark, scores. I thought he looked very positive up until then as well. Always looking to take the ball on and try and drive at players. You go in at 2-1 now at half time, you're comfortable. You're just thinking, right, Motherwell haven't offered too much. We've been dominating. Just go out and, as I said, get the third and fourth goal like we haven't been doing this season. And we came out and we done that, and it was just probably the best 45 minutes of football, like easily we've played all season.
Hands down the best 45 we've played all season, mate. It was just, I was so happy to see Glenn Kamara get a goal from outside the box. It was just, I don't know if you've seen the video for the Motherwell sort of side it when he scores that goal.
I have.
Yes, I was so happy with him in the 45 minutes. As we said, Fashion was, he had O'Donnell skiing about all over the face in the first half for me, having to pull his shirt and getting the yellow. But no, I was happy to see him get sent off, to be honest with you.
That's his level. That's how good Stephen O'Donnell is.
No, it is, honestly. But no, the goals that we scored yesterday were superb, and Fashion's hat-trick was just top notch for the guy. And as we're honestly going to talk about his interview afterwards, just makes you love the guy even more, man.
Nah,
just what a player.
And his third goal, as you say, he takes out on the left-hand side this time, drives into the box, gets a deflection, but good strike of the ball, good goal, gets the third goal. That was probably the most relieved I'd ever been for a goal ever, because I was desperate to just get a goal and just. I hate when we sit on 1-goal leads, and it was nice to finally get that bit of insurance with the 2-goal lead. Took it well, gets a brace. You're thinking, right, they've got 10 men. Surely this has got to be about 5 now. Glenn Kamara, as you said, takes a shot from outside the box, and that's what happens when you sometimes have a shot from outside the box. It will go in. Struck the ball again very well. There was an argument they were talking on the telly that Sakala was in front of the keeper blocking his view and all that. I've not really looked too much into that. It was a good strike of the ball. Glenn Kamara gets off the mark for the season, and very happy with that one. 5. Then Davis, he was sensational yesterday, Stephen Davis.
What a game Davis had, man.
And then he whips the ball in. Sakala's there at the back post, put on a plate, hat trick, and I like the way he actually scored his hat trick, head outside of the box and a tap in. 3 different goals, which is always nice to see.
I seen people try to say he was offside for his third one. I watch him and how he's moving.
There's maybe a hint of offside in it, but
there may be a hint of it, but it's his movement for me where he realises and then he jumps back on and then he gets it. But I love, honestly, what a ball that was for Stephen Davis. Sensational. I thought the midfield majority of, maybe you could say our field wasn't at the best, but I thought the rest of them were.
Looking back at the game though, I was really critical of Arfield when we were talking yesterday. I think he actually done all right, to be honest. He puts in the yards for the team and he gets his ticking. He's not necessarily going to grab a ball and always look to drive forward. You'll always get a 6 to 7 out of 10 performance for Arfield every game. He's consistent enough.
I thought he was one of the best players in the first half for me personally, but he just puts a shift in. As I say, he's not going to do what Devo and Kamara do, but I was just proud of him. I thought first half, honestly, we just kept going, and then just a sensational strike, and then 45, probably the best 45 he played all season. It was just, obviously, we were calling for Scott Wright maybe to come on, use the pace, try and Get that man
Aye.
Stephen McDonald away.
And that's another guy, by the way. See when Scott Wright came on, he was sharp as anything. See when he took that ball out in the right and he just immediately looked for goal. Like nearly went in. It was some strike. Just see how sharp he was with the ball. I was like, right,
honestly,
what has happened to us? Because we couldn't do anything like 4 days ago, and now we look like absolute world beaters. It's hopefully this is the level that we're going to set now for ourselves, and we have to kick on now because we know what.
There's no more sort of start-stops for the international breaks. Now we have to kick on. Like performance for that, everyone's feeling good, everyone's feeling positive. And as I said, if he had scored that goal, Scott, right? Oh my God, that would have been a screamer, man. But,
that would have been a screamer.
My main thing is now like obviously fashion, and you've got Scott Wright looking a bit decent. I mean, I know people before this were screaming, does Ryan Kent come straight back into the team? But for me, man, I think the way we played in that 45, I don't think he comes straight back in. Also, he'll come back in.
I think Gerrard has got his front three for the now. Like you play the best three that are delivering for you, and they delivered. Obviously, Aribo might be the only one that might drop out from time to time. He's a centre midfielder, but you've got a replacement in Hadji behind there, and you were obviously talking to me, sent me some images of Hadji in positions that he could be getting into in the park. I've not actually got them on the screen, but there was a lot of space in the middle of the park with the Motherwell three. The Motherwell three, as I was watching Gogsy's video, that's where you seen the reaction for the Motherwell fans when Kamara scored. I was watching his vlog of the game, and obviously I don't watch Motherwell at all, apart from when we played him, and he was like, right, Graham Alexander has had the same tactics for every game this season. It's always a 4-3-3, and we're going to get overrun in midfield, which they did. And you spotted some positions if Hadji was on the park that you would like to see him in the future.
I have, mate, and I don't know if the viewers will be able to see it. Not the best when it's taking pictures in the front of the camera, but there we are.
But you can clearly see it. Like there's that space in the middle there.
Absolutely, and that's what I'm on about for last season as well, and this season. All the time I see that space there. And I know that's the one where Alfredo pushes up and gets the ball, but I'm just seeing that space and I'm thinking to myself, that's where I want Yanis Hadji to get the ball and look to link up with somebody, or maybe have a dig or play somebody through.
And that's what you would hope you would see Hadji now in the future, because he is a player that's going to play behind the striker and create for the middle.
Even this one here, this is what I'm on about. What a space there, do you know what I mean? I want somebody there to pick the ball up and look straight forward. Just let's go for it. Kamara. That's what I'm on about all the time. Kamara is always there. Mm-hmm. It's like, mate, go in the middle and try and get the ball. But no, man, I see that all the time, and I just think to myself, it doesn't really matter. We win 6-1, but future going forward, I really want to see Hadji just play in the middle, man, and control the game. I'd love to see him just control the game, have the passes out. It'd be fantastic, but I don't know if he comes back into the team, to be honest with you, performance that we had in that first 45, sorry. But
well, when we go into Brøndby, we'll need to see about that. But on you go.
No, sorry, mate. I was just going to say, I know, listen, look, we're all critical of Tavernier, but at the end of the day, we all love a guy, and you can go back and forth with, is he a captain, is he not? But I'm sorry, captains lead by example for me. The goals and the assists, even when he makes the mistakes, for me, it's just the tracking back in that Aberdeen game. He had let the ball go and somebody was going away through, and he wasn't really tracking back. I'm like myself, you're the captain, you got to be going for it. But he does lead by example for me in terms of he's the one that gets his back in the game. I can think a couple of times this season in the assists. But you always, as we say, we always got to back the team. You always got to back the boys, man.
Nah, 100%. And Tavernier, he's one of the biggest ones that always gets abuse from him all the time. And obviously we do that sometimes, but it's when your captain can perform at a level like that, you want to see the levels all the time, and I do feel that they drop sometimes with him, and I don't know what that is down to, but 2 quality assists and a screamer of a goal. And then the 6th goal, I was saying to myself, right, Jack Simpson's in the park. If Jack Simpson scores, it's just we're taking the piss now. And Jack Simpson actually nearly scored for I felt so sorry for him. See, Kemar, the ball was getting in the goal, and he was ready to celebrate, and Kemar Roof just pops in. Striker's instinct, of course. Like, it's good to see that, but I felt really sorry for Jack Simpson there.
Oh, listen, they shut you up with the free you were giving him, honestly.
I know.
No, I was shocked that he even brought him on. I was like, really, Jack Simpson's coming on? I was surprised that he was even on set again, but it's good to see him come on. Listen, he's another one that, well, obviously we have a laugh with it and that. But you know, you do want, obviously we want to see everyone succeed up here. But as I say, man, it's just probably going to take him time to really fully settle in. You hear Fashion in his interview after the game, he still feels like he needs a little bit more time to settle in with the boys. He feels like he's almost there, but probably just taking him a little bit longer maybe to settle in, obviously, with what's happened and stuff like that.
You know, it could be like it's one of the things like they've obviously seen quality in, like they wouldn't have bought him for no reason. That's what I say. So he's going to be a sub centre half for the foreseeable if he's in the squad now. So we're going to need him to pick up his game a bit, and then with winning games like that and playing like that, you can give players like that an opportunity. Like if Stephen Kelly was on the bench yesterday, Stephen Kelly could have came on. Like if you go and provide and score goals to make sure the game's won, you can give all these players a chance, which we haven't been doing this season, which is annoying. That's why like your Simpsons and that have been limited to game time, I feel. But it was nice to see him come on the park, and I really hope we can kick on now, because the worst thing possible is if Balogun gets an injury and this guy's just flung into the deep end again, and or something like that. Like, you don't want that to happen. So hopefully with more games and stuff, it will eventually come, but we'll never know until we actually find out. And that was just exactly the performance we were needing after Wednesday, and just for the whole season. Like, we needed to go and batter a team. Like, we needed to just go and absolutely destroy a team. We did, and I was fucking chuffed after it.
I think we all were, mate. It was about time, man. And as I say, I'm hoping the energy levels are there, that everyone's high, everyone's feeling confident, realising that what we can do and remembering who we are. I was about to come on here, obviously after the Aberdeen game, and be saying, look, listen, we're bringing that young lad up for the B team into the first team. But obviously it's going to take some time, obviously, with the players we've got in front of that guy to get him into the team, but he eventually will do. But no, man, I'm just so happy with the Motherwell, as I say, the second half of the Motherwell. And even the first half, as I said to you, I know you said that you thought the defenders were shaky in the first half, but I just thought Balogun bossed it, man. He was winning all these duels. He looked really decent. I think I said, he's probably been our best defender, probably all majority of the season anyway so far. And for me, he was the best defender in that game anyway. So we'll see how it goes on the next game. I'm probably going to touch on some.
Aye, definitely. Balogun, before we move on to that, has always been consistent this season. I think the only problem I had when I was talking to you about it at the time is I just felt like any time that Motherwell had to come towards us, that were like the one where Tony Watt nearly scored, it hits off Balogun. I'm just thinking, right, it's just pure sloppy defending for the goal as well. But we showed that up. Balogun did do very well. By far our best defender this season. Even Calvin Bassey in the second half, he was taking a fucking kicking down there. But he kept on going. Obviously gets the assist. Tavernier as well.
See, when he went down, when Calvin went down with injury, and they were all booing him, I wanted them to get up and do the Mbappe. I love that kind of stuff, man. It would have just been hilarious.
Just pure shithousing them.
Aye, it would have been.
But as we move on from Motherwell, I just hope we can take this performance into Thursday, because, again, if we want to keep our European run alive, which I know Gerrard obviously takes very seriously, we need to go win this game away from home. And with a performance like that, you've set it up perfectly for yourself. Brøndby, obviously, they weren't up to much, I don't think, when we played them at Ibrox. Didn't really do much. They definitely are the weakest team in the group, but there's still a job to be done. They've won the last couple of games after that. They beat Copenhagen, one of the better teams in Denmark the other week there, and then won 1-0 just Saturday or Sunday there. So they've got a few wins under their belt. Again, they'll be looking to get the victory in this as well. They want to keep themselves alive in the group, but I feel it's a game we need to go over, of course, and get the job done. I feel like we can do that.
Absolutely, mate. This is, as I say, when we played them, we sort of just allowed them to have possession. They didn't really threaten that much, and if they did, it was through our own errors in the game, if I can remember off the top of my head. But it's a game we've got to be going over there, and I think looking to be scoring 3 or 4, for me anyway. We're looking to continue the momentum for the Motherwell game. I think about how dangerous Fashion looked. I think Scott Wright looked sharp when he came on as well. The only one I didn't think was at his best again was Morelos. I know he's scoring the goals, but it's the work rate. that I'm looking for, man, chasing the ball. He's not chasing the ball as much, and I'm thinking,
Morelos for me in the Motherwell game, just fall short of pressing the ball, like using his power to go and take people off the ball. Like, the thing with Morelos, he's probably one of the best passers of the ball in the team now. Like, see the way he passes the ball and links the play up.
All the time, man.
It's always on the money, but I just want him to be using what we know Morelos can do. Obviously, he was unlucky with the shot outside of the box as well in that Motherwell one.
Listen, he was thinking, but he's still playing, obviously, European top goal scorer. But I honestly don't think do you change your team at all? I don't think you do after a performance like that.
Well, that's what I was going to come to then. Brøndby team, I think about McGregor and goals. McLaughlin doesn't really start in Europe. Tavernier, Goldson, Balogun. The big talk is the left back position. He's saying is Barisic apparently going to be back, but I don't start him. Bassi has to play the best player in the position at the time. Bassi has to play. If you want to go win the game, Bassi's looking positive every single time he's on the left back position, so I'd have him in. I think Davis will start again. Maybe a bit unlucky for Lundstrom to miss out, but Davis, with the levels he's playing at the moment, I feel like he's undroppable. And Aribo Kamara, I think Aribo will move back into the midfield, and I think Hadji will come in. I think Hadji will play maybe. I think it'll be Kamara and Davis sort of holding, Hadji in the middle, Aribo out right, Sakala moving out to the left, and then Morelos up front. I feel like that's what the kind of side they could go with. I think it would work well in Europe as well. You've got the two sitting, because obviously you don't want to go lose a game. Kamara's a bit more advanced than Davis. Aribo's out on the right, can fill in to make it a 4-3-3. So you've got options, and all the front three can link up with each other and play all through the front three. So I think Hadji will come back in. He always likes to start him in Europe anyway. So I wouldn't. That looks like a positive team to me. To be honest with you, can get the job done.
No,
maybe even Roof is unlucky to miss out on all. It's one of the things.
I would probably maybe have Kimar in there as well. Maybe also European, we know what he can do. Obviously, it's surely if there's an agreement now that my boy Calvin Bassey's the number one left back at the club. Surely has to be now. Like, Barisic offers you that security sometimes. But I just feel like Bassey is just better at going forward. Like, he looks like he's getting more pace, just more power going forward. He looks like he's actually going to go and do something. Listen, if you're playing against Calvin Bassey and he's running towards you with a ball, I mean, that's a tough afternoon, I'll tell you that. Lundstrom, to be honest, Lundstrom doesn't make a miss out on any fault his own. It's just Stephen Davis. It's one of them where we have so much quality in the middle of the park when they're on their game. But I'd definitely be happy with that side in Europe, as I say. Kemar Roof, that's one that you would probably look to maybe half time sort of bring on, but I'd be happy with that side at all, mate. Honestly, I would be.
Aye, and then you've obviously, as you say, get the options for the bench. Ryan Kent could be in the squad, who knows? Could be back. I don't know if Gerrard will risk him travelling over, but I think definitely for Sunday we'll probably see Ryan Jack or Kent in the bench, surely.
I mean, that's something I was going to bring up as well, and we were talking about it. It's like dangling a carrot out, man, constantly for weeks now. He's been going on about the two of them are almost ready. They're almost back. And it's like, well,
I know.
When are they coming back? Christmas time, pal. Come on. We need them. We need them fully fit and ready to go, especially with what's coming up for like Joe Aribo and my man Fashion, and if they'll be away in January. So I would definitely need the lads back, but I could see them. Scott Wright's another one for me in Europe as well. We've got a game away. We run out there as well.
I think he's maybe. I think he might actually start him over Hadji. It's between the two of them for me, because I think Sakala and Wright are going to provide pace. And what I've always thought this season anyway is I think Sakala is going to start all of the away games in Europe, because we're going to try and play in the counter-attack mostly, and he's got just raw pace to burn. So I think Sakala, after the performance as well, dead set to start, but Scott Wright, exactly, he could be an option instead of Hadji, maybe to add pace on the wings, maybe. Depends how we're going to approach the game. If we're going to have a lot of the ball, I'd have Hadji on, but if we're going to play in the counter-attack, obviously I'd play with Scott Wright, but I believe we'll have a lot of the ball against Brøndby.
I believe we will. I mean, that sounds good for when you play with Leon away. And
if you play Leon away, you have Scott Wright, Sakala, by 100%.
I like the idea of the two playing with Kemar in the middle, using that movement, that intelligent play. I just think that'd be a joy to watch all day. But I think we'll have a lot of the ball in this game, to be honest with you. I'm just going to cross my fingers because I know what happened the last time with the Malmo game. But aye, fingers crossed. But we have a lot of. I just honestly, I hope we can continue. Maybe a 3 or 4-0 here. I'd love it, honestly, if we continue that momentum.
Nah, we need to continue the momentum. Hopefully get 3 points there, and then we move on to Ross County at the weekend. Back to league action in the last game before the international break, and then we can set our feet up for a bit and have to watch Scotland again. The joys. But again, we should be continuing the form for the Motherwell game in the league anyway into this one. Ross County had a mad result, 5-0. They beat Dundee away from home the other week there. And then I think they get beat 1-0 at the weekend. I can't remember off who, St Mirren, I think. So a bit hot and cold Dundee this season. Like you could, not Ross County, sorry.
I was about to say,
they've had moments where you think, right, they're on all right side. They scored against Hearts, actually, went 1-0 up as well, or they equalised. But they've had moments in the season, obviously go 5-0. They'll be talking about that for their history, probably. I can't remember Ross County ever scoring 5 goals. So, again, probably the worst team in the league, though. At Ibrox, it should only be 3 points.
It should only be 3 points, let's be honest, mate. And that's a game where you've got to, maybe you can go Scott Wright plays and Kemar comes in. You never know, but no, nothing but 3 points there for me personally, especially after the last time we played at Ibrox against Aberdeen. That's got to be a 3-pointer for me. Who do Ross County even have? They have that boy, what was it? Was it Liverpool in it at right back? What's his name?
They have Connor Randall, Charles Cook's probably their main man this season. He's been scoring a few. Apart from that, though, I don't think they've got much quality, to be honest with you. I know if Ross County's game get postponed, actually.
They play Wednesday, don't they? Play Wednesday.
That's what happened. But that was their first win of the season, against Dundee there, which is interesting. But as I say, it should only be 3 points at home against Ross County. I think it might give us the ability to go and rotate as well, bring players that haven't been seen too much game time in. I think the team that will start, although we don't like the rotation of the keepers, I can see McLaughlin playing this one. I can also see Patterson coming in. I mean, I say it every fucking week, but Tavernier's providing, of course, and you can't really be too critical with Patterson not starting at the moment. But I feel perfect opportunity to go and give Patterson a start in the league against Ross County. Goldson, I was going to put Simpson in, but I don't know. I don't know about that one.
I'm going to even when it's games you think he'll rotate Goldson out, he just plays him. That's why he plays all the time, man.
It'll probably be Goldson and Balogun again. I think Barisic will come back in for the left back position, providing he's fit. Lundstrom, I feel, will come back in as well. Kamara Arfield probably, and then Aribo out on the right. We Roof up front, Wheeler, Sakala, Scott Wright, or Ryan Kent. Could be either one of them. I just feel there's going to be a lot of rotation in this side, and I'd like to maybe even see somebody like Stephen Kelly in the bench playing against his old team.
Oh well, listen, I'd like to see Stephen Kelly get more minutes on the park. I reckon you could probably see Jack Simpson maybe starting that game with Connor Goldson. Might be one of them where he takes Balogun out and plays Simpson in there. Definitely think McLaughlin will start. I hate the rotation of the keepers, man, but it is what it is. But I just, anyway, as I say, man, it's nothing but 3 points for me personally. So,
nothing but 3 points, and hopefully we can field a strong side again with a bit of rotation in it. Because I'm wanting to see. Don't know where Juninho Bacuna's been for the past few weeks either. He's not been on the bench a lot, so I don't know what's happening with him. We'll need to obviously hear if Gerard's asked about it in his press conference on Wednesday.
What about that other lad? What's his name? He signed for Bournemouth. I forgot.
Namdi offer. No idea. I see him posting on Instagram and Twitter and that. He was tweeting about the game yesterday, and a guy I just don't want to let him be forgotten in the shadows away. Like we have signed this guy.
Jordan Rossiter in it. You don't want him to turn it.
But I'm hoping he's all right. It's obviously a very serious issue he's got going on. So hopefully for himself as well, he can get back playing football and get his debut for Rangers as soon as possible. But again, every time Gerard's really asked about these things, it never brings them up or that. So it must be quite serious to the point where nobody really knows what's going on. So hopefully, though, fingers crossed, it's all right for him. But aye, I'm looking forward to the 2 games this week. A result of that just gets you hyped again. It just shows you what level we can play at. That was what the levels we were reaching last season, near enough every game. And we reached it. Everything worked. And I just hope now the benchmark's set, we can just kick on.
Well, listen, the blinders are back on, son, after everything we've gone through, probably would have been hanging, but the blinders are back on and we're loving it. And I love having them on, honestly. As you say, it's time to kick on now for me with these 3 games. I'm looking at them and I'm thinking to myself, listen, these are games where we should be getting 3-4. Let's be honest, but if we're all hanging with ourselves, so if we can play, we showed that second half. I'm telling you, we should be getting 3 or 4. But no, man, as I say, I don't want to be dropping into the Conference League and be playing Antonio Conte Spurs. So let's just try our best to stay in Europa. For the theme song, at least, Jack, come on.
For the theme songs and for the fact that the game's on the Thursdays.
Come on.
Yeah. I love a European Thursday for that theme song, but literally top tier. But hopefully we can get the job done Wednesday, and it puts us in a really, really good position. We should be beating Sparta Prague at home after that one. So this is probably the biggest game we'll face in the group. This Brøndby away game, tricky wee game for us.
Early kick-off, innit?
Early kick-off as well, 5:45. I think Celtic are playing away from home as well.
8 o'clock.
So the both teams are away from home because obviously the last time they had to play on Tuesday. So hopefully we do the business and then I can go and laugh at Celtic getting beaten Hungary. So that's probably a bit everyone had to say today.
The thing I would say is I think they've been quite smart in how they've done the whole COP thing with the fixtures as well. Obviously, I know that what the Rangers game singed, but honestly, if any Rangers fan that's going to the Ross County game, I feel so, honestly, I hope we win. I hope you get a performance because the journey there and back is going to be treacherous. So, but
it wasn't too bad the other night though for the Aberdeen game. It was quite bad getting into the ground, but we got there. On decent time. Just for kick off. Didn't get asked for my vaccine passport again. Driver parked up at where we get picked up again, but they had time to walk it this time.
Right, good. Because you said they left early, didn't they?
No, I left earlier than usual, so I didn't even think the game was going to be on because of the rain that day.
The rain was treacherous, man. I love a good game like that, but that's what I'm saying. How are you not up for that? Obviously, whatever the thing be. I love a good game in the rain, man. Honestly, I'm going to slide tackle on there like Gerard.
But I think that's everything we've touched on this week. It's been good over that weekend there. Just gets the spirits up about the club again. Something we definitely needed. So again, as we reiterate, hopefully we can take that into Thursday's game against Brøndby. And if you did enjoy the podcast, as always, if you'd like, subscribe and follow us on the socials. Share about if you're listening anywhere else, and we'll be back again with our podcast, hopefully covering a couple of good results. So we'll see you then.